Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Brad and I are doing a discussion for Hoplomachus Victorum. Now, a couple of caveats. One, this is going to be a discussion over the base game of Hoplomachus Victorum. There will be a separate video where we will be discussing the newest expansion, Pandora's Ruin. And two, Chip Theory was very, very kind enough to send me a review copy of this, because for those of you who have watched the channel before, you're like, don't you already have a discussion on this? I do, but they were very, very kind to send me Hoplomachus to do everything for. Which is going to be interesting, because as everyone who has watched our top 100s or talked about anything from Chip Theory, Brad glazes Victorum a lot, and I was one of the few that was like, all their other games are better. So I wanted to come back and revisit Victorum for a couple reasons. One, with Elder Scrolls having been out now, which we have a discussion on that, it's doing very well. And I know that one's compared to Too Many Bones, but there's a lot of bones that I was seeing similarities with Elder Scrolls to Victorum specifically. And just understanding kind of the nuances a lot more of what Victorum is, being able to come back and replay it to see if it was still the same experience I was having, or knowing what it is, if my headspace will actually change my opinion of it. And the fact that they sent it to me for free, and they're paying me a lot. No, I'm kidding. They're not paying me at all.
They paid you in the game.
Right, that's pretty much it, yeah. Like almost 6 figures. They're doing very well. Like, I was able to quit my job. They paid me that much. No, obviously, they did not pay me anything. But does my opinion of Hoplomachus Victorum change? It does, in a more positive light. But I still have many issues with the actual Victorum, the base game. And I'm doing my best to not bring in the expansion, because I want to do a separate discussion over that and everything that brings. But I'll let Brad kick it off. Brad, what do you think of Hoplomachus Victorum?
Well, this game is, if you followed our top 100s over the years...
It's not in the top 10 anymore, I can tell you that.
Well, no, because it hadn't, but it would be back. Like, we'd make those lists enough because I hadn't played a whole lot, and then when this expansion came out, I've been playing a lot more, it would be right back in my top 10. This is a top 10 game for me.
And I also am recruiting you to be in my... Because normally I do solo discussions by myself, because it's solo, and I was like, you know what? Let's get someone else in on it who actually loves the game. Yeah,
and as a lot of... If you've watch this channel also, a lot of you know that I am a big time solo player, so like this was perfect for me for the deal. It's a long experience in base game form, but that's not necessarily a horrible thing as a solo player, especially how I play these kind of games, because when I play a game, a campaign, I guess is what you say, I leave it on the table.
Yes.
And I walk away from it and then I come back to it. So it's like, even though it takes 8 to 10 hours to get through this entire campaign, that's not a problem for me.
Yeah. Let's actually hit, because that's the biggest negative I absolutely have for this expansion. Is whenever, because it's a 4-act campaign. Now, I'm assuming you play on the easiest difficulty because you're...
I play whatever the next...
Veteran, I think, is what it is, where you only get 4 blessings.
Yeah, 4 blessings, yep.
Well, I played it on the hardest difficulty because I'm a gamer. No, I'm kidding, I don't play them.
It's like, good luck with that.
I play solo, so... Wow, they miss all the time. They suck.
Nobody's looking. Yeah, he missed.
Somehow the red die misses for them, too. I don't even know how that happens. No, I also played on Veteran. But each act takes... They lie to you straight up saying it's 90 minutes per act. No, it is not.
There's no way.
It is consistently 2 hours per act, which was my biggest negative whenever I first played it. I'm like, this game is 8 to 10 hours of virtually the same thing. You do the same thing every act, getting a little bit better each time. Because every act is... or every campaign is, you have 3 Primuses you have to fight, and then a Scion at the very end of Act 4. Now, to be fair, I guess the 90 minutes could be you can choose to fight the Primus early, and if you do that, just ends the act, or you could stick around, but you have to fight them by the end of 12 weeks. And each act is that. Now, in what order you fight the Primuses, that's up to you. That is a strategy because the Primuses are going to get harder, so it's like, which one do you think is going to be the biggest problem? Do you want to fight them early?
Right. Yeah, because you can see them, because that's this thing cool, because you get to see them at the
this
beginning
thing
of the
is
game.
cool, not anymore. Not no. That's one thing I will say about the expansion. This thing is nice, except now it's obsolete because everything doesn't fit in it anymore. So yeah, it's trash. Anyway, you could see everything, which is very nice because this game would tank if it was all random. Right. Oh, what kind of blood sport or bloodshed are we getting? Oh, one that's gonna kill all my units. But that is a strategy of, okay, I can only move one space, so do I want to go in the order of what's closest to me, which is how I pretty much do it every time, is, I have to fight the Amazon, then New Argonauts, then Atlanteans. Well, guess who I'm fighting first? The one that's closest, because I don't want to have to trek all the way to Atlantis to then have to come all the way back. Even though there's harbors and stuff, but that wastes even more time to do so. But that is a strategy of, well, the third Primus is going to have more units, more health, and potentially kill all my units before I go and fight the Scion at the end. But it takes about 2 hours. Hell, even I actually might still have my sheets. No, I got rid of them. Funny enough, in my run through, I fought them all around week 6, about halfway through. Now I had a really gross crew, because you're able to build your crew kind of how you want, and I started as the Parthians, so I was all range, and that goes a whole hell of a long way. Whenever your units have first strike and they come out and attack, and then they're all range and they can all just pincushion Pedro Pascal from Gladiator 2. But I think what I noticed is they do not intend for you to binge play this game. Right. And I think that kind of alleviates the length. Like what you said, you don't sit down and play 2 acts in a row. No.
I generally will play it through an act and then go and do something. I may play it in a day, a couple acts in a day, but it's usually a 2-day process when I play this.
And I know that's what people were saying is like, that's like a weekend game. Set it stays set up. It's so clean.
Doesn't take a lot of room.
No, it's all here, which is sexy. It's very clean setup, and you just leave it up. So you sit down out of a day or two, and do one act. Then in the morning or in the early afternoon, then in the evening or night, you come and do Act 2. That is not what I did. I was pumping them out, and the fatigue was wearing. Where it's like, okay, finally finish Act 1, time to do Act 2. Oh wait, it's kind of it's the exact same thing. Like I just have to do that. And oh shit, it's on this map. I hate this map. Like okay, so that is very fatiguing. So I will say, understand that if you're playing base game, it's long. And do I find it super rewarding of how long it is? Absolutely not. If you binge it. Don't binge it.
Yeah, don't binge it.
And that can be said for a lot of games. Like, honestly, like, if I binge... There was that game, Legacy of You. Do you remember that was the Sheffield? That game, I was like, I binged it. And in my discussion for that, I was like, it hurt the experience when you just sit down and binge. And honestly, that's kind of a problem with board games, I feel.
Well, you can do that with any campaign game.
Yeah.
Just like when we were plowing through Primal... I don't know, we got fatigued on Primal if we were just doing a couple of things at a time.
It is interesting.
We crushed a lot
you could play a video game for 8 hours and that's like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's because you're constantly making steady like aware progression. Right. And board games, it's a methodical approach. Like if I played Act 1, waited a day, came back to Act 2, it's like I'm starting a new game. Right. And it's not like I'm not aware that I'm doing the same thing again. Right. So the length. But here's my problem overall with the length anyway. and I'm just such a time conscious person that, I mean, years and years ago before I got the job I have now, I had wicked time anxiety. And it's depressing if you focus on that. But here's kind of my issue, which goes into the way the Scions work at the very end. Like with the Ascension mode and Remaster that we talked about, the Titans or the Scions are very swingy. They could be masterclass, party wipe, or they could be dumb as dirt. They all rely on, it's like, yeah, you're rolling all these dice, but if they're all counted off hits. If they roll misses, they're not doing anything. So my problem is that you spend 8 hours to get to potentially the final boss, and then you either mow them down, and it's not satisfying, or you get mowed down. And it's like, I just wasted 6 hours to get to this, and it just one-shots me? Okay. I didn't even get it. Like, so that's an issue.
Hence the world of solo gaming. 'Cause, I mean, that's solo gaming, it's...
You cheat.
Well, not just that, but it's like, I mean, a lot of the games I play solo are long. And it just, a lot of them come down to, it could just be, either unfulfilling ending.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a great ending, but you that's the risk you take. I mean, it's just kind of...
And I will say, again, going back into, like, revisiting Hoplomachus Victorum, it actually made me more aware, because I played many campaigns with bosses. Primal is a great one that we did together, or Midara, or whatever. If it's not designed to be a boss battler, like Oathsworn or Aeon Trespass or Kingdom Death, most games are bad at designing bosses. And, I mean, that's true for video games and all that. It's like, if you're not specifically, like, Dark Souls or Elden Ring, where you don't design bosses, you're going to have that kind of inconsistency. And that's just something I've noticed that's not specific to Victorum. Now, does it all come out in the wash? Probably for Scions, where they're going to, they're probably going to have a dead turn, but then they'll have a good turn. And then they'll have an average turn. But I mean, I think that's how they designed it. You're supposed to know what the Scion can do.
Right. So
your whole goal and journey is to build to be able to fight it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like in this game in particular, I enjoy the journey more than the ending.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of these games like this, it's like all the stuff that happens in the 12 weeks prior or however is what I enjoy of the game, and then whatever happens at the end, if it's a good experience, bad experience, whatever, the journey was fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that's may or may not be the popular opinion on it, but
there's a lot of people where it's like, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. And I'm the complete opposite. Right. Like, it's kind of like if any, like, Game of Thrones, it's like, man, the seasons 1 through 5 were great. Yeah, season 8 was absolute trash, so the whole show sucks. That's how I am as a person. You got to stick the landing. If you stick the landing, then that just makes the journey that much better. But again, if you're like that, if you're like, no, the whole game was fun. Yeah, the silent fight was kind of underwhelming, but yeah, whatever. I still had a good 6 hours. Now, I will say I wanted to hit that biggest negative on the head. Because whenever we were talking about this, when you brought it up in the top 10, I think you were like, this is like a 10 out of 10 game. I think is where you were, maybe a 9. I think 9 or 10.
I think it was 10.
And I was like, dude, I'm at a 5. I will say, I like this game more after having been able to come out and revisit it, especially after Elder Scrolls, because there's a lot of the ways that Elder Scrolls fights go that this also has. But I'll let you get off. Why do you love this game so much?
I mean, I like the theme of this anyway. I've always liked gladiatorial stuff. The Greek mythology or the Roman mythology.
Yeah. Greek mythology.
Yeah.
They just renamed the gods and that was it.
So that's that kind of stuff I love anyway. And if I don't know what order you're putting these discussions out, but in the Hoplo.
This is going first.
Okay, so we did the Hoplo discussion. You'll hear me talk about how that game. I love that game too, but why would I mess with that as much when this came out? This is solo. This is my alley. So I get to have all that theme and all that gameplay put into a solo experience. That's not like when I'm trying to play Oathsworn solo and there's just shit everywhere.
That's true. Yeah.
Everything. This, you just roll out the mats. throw out. This is already pre-set up. You just throw stuff out and you roll. I mean, the setup is so easy, and it's an easy one to keep track of. Of course, it's chip theory games, so components are awesome. Anyway,
except for the travel lines on this map.
Yeah, there is a little bit.
It's actually only this area.
Yeah,
because it's white on white, and there was one moment where I was moving, and I was like, "Oh, it does go up there."
But no, I mean this one just hits my style because I like to really analyze my stuff when I play solo. I don't know how you play solo, like if you just kind of go through the motions and go through it. But when I play Fate Forge.
Oh yeah.
I'm like really analyzing my positions. I'm taking my time and really going like this. So this game is just like, okay, I can sit here and I think.
This game in particular rewards that. Yeah. So I think I'm a lot more. This is gonna sound super egotistical, but I don't feel like I suffer from analysis paralysis. I feel like I can kind of quickly see the situation, be like, this might be the best move, which is a double-edged sword because then if I make a mistake, I'm that much more upset with myself. Where I'm like, I forgot about that, I didn't see that, and I should have seen that. I'm so stupid.
Oh yeah.
But here, because everything is facing towards you, you can see what their abilities are going to be, how you can circumnavigate that, what tactics are going to be. You can look at the bloodsheds and the sports, which for the record, I never ever did capture the flag. I'm like my units are all slow. So then I would basically spectate and be like, oh, let's put that in the back. But my units, like for example, had a lot of first strike and stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna do sparring because that's gonna be easier for me. But you are allowed to do that. This game would be gutter trash if it was all random. If all these were facing against you.
Definitely. And that's what marks a good solo game in my mind is the choices.
Yeah.
You can look, because my wife makes fun of me when I'm playing solo games downstairs, because she'll come down into the basement when I'm playing.
Just in the dark with one light.
Well, no, I'm sitting
sweaty.
there. When I play solo, I talk to myself. I talk it all out. I'm like, okay, so if I move here, like I'm not sitting there in the quiet going like, I'm like, okay, so if I move here, I do this.
I don't know what's worse, talking to yourself by yourself, or if you were in the dead quiet.
No, I know.
Do you play music?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on the game and if there's something. But a lot of times I want to I talk my turns out, and I think that's something I've learned over the years of playing board games. Because when I play competitively, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna move here and here so people can know what I'm doing. So I'm not just like trying to cheat and move shit all over the place.
Right. Obviously, I talk to myself too because I'm only recording. Right. It'd be weird if I had a 2-hour video where there was no audio.
Just like the chip sounds.
It's ASMR. I have a boom mic, like pointed at it, so it's all clicking.
Yeah.
There's an avenue for that. I have never seen an ASMR board game channel. You could be the first one. Never seen an OnlyFans board gaming channel. You could be the first one.
I'm preparing myself for if I ever start my own channel. See.
Yeah, you got two options, two lanes. But yeah, this game, because of, what it really is I didn't approach this game as and this is going to sound weird, but I didn't approach this as an Ameritrash Gladiator game. I didn't approach this as Spartacus. And it was never meant to be that. It's not like I was saying, well, that's what it should have been. But it's the same way of playing Too Many Bones a lot, Cloudspire a lot. Well, maybe not Cloudspire so much. Too Many Bones, 20 Strong, and Elder Scrolls, is their combats are not Ameritrash, boss battler kind of strategic movement. They're all puzzles.
Right.
Hell, even this one is a puzzle. Elder Scrolls, even though they're a bigger map and you actually kind of maneuver a little bit more, it's more about what units do they have, what abilities do they have based off their keywords, and what do I have, and how do I solve this puzzle.
Right.
And hell, even with the opportunities with the bloodsheds and the sports, they all have rules and conditions about them that it's like, okay, if that's the bloodshed I want, do I even go for a bloodshed? Okay, do I like the units I have, or do I go for a sport? All of that being front-loaded information that you have to you, being able to go in and be like, oh, I'm not trying to just be some badass gladiator. This is a puzzle that I'm trying to solve. And that's what kind of set this a little bit over the edge where I was able to have fun with it. Instead of like the first time where I was playing it, where it was just kind of like, I mean, all you do is put your units out and roll dice.
Right.
There was a lot where units would come out, and I'm like, oh, they have absorb. Wait, I have Fury Aura, or I have Agile. I can mitigate or it's like, oh, you have Deflect. Okay, how do I get around Deflect? And depending on which map you're on, matters. You know what I can definitely tell you? If you're on this map with where you have to be chained to someone, having archers really makes you OP, because it's like, oh no, your movement, you have to be tied. That unit's movement is 3, but you're attached to a fat, slow person. I'm just going to shoot you from a distance. But that's something cool with your squad. Mm-hmm. It's like you build a squad a certain way, you're going to be better on certain arenas.
Right.
Like, I was great here. I was bad on... I was bad on this map. The map with the walls.
Yes. That
would move back and forth because they'd get in my way. Funny enough, I have never played on... Where is it? I have never played on this map. That's the Kunlun. The one.
I don't think I have either.
Right? It's like, for some reason, I've never had to go over there.
Yeah.
I've played on... I started as the Parthians, so I had to play on the Parthian map. In my expansion one, I had to go to the Limosians. But, you know what I can tell you? Is the worst map? The Pluto's Refugees one.
Yeah.
Because those animals are just jank.
Yeah.
It's so jank. And then the Vesuvians, it's just whatever, you just burn alive while you're on it. So, yeah. I mean, that's, I don't know if you have much more to say about Victorum, because it actually is a lot more. It's just clean. Yeah. It is a clean game. Now, whenever it comes to the Scion fight, or do you find this game to be easy?
No.
No?
No. I mean, it's not super easy, and it's not like impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I know it comes down, a lot of it's going to come down to how you build your team.
Yeah.
And then how you choose to move around the world. I mean, what you choose to do and stuff like that. I mean, is a lot of it, but I've never really thought of it being easy, per se.
Yeah, I mean, again, it still does come down to die rolls. Like, that is the almost end-all be-all, because you could build a really good team and plan, because you can see everything, but if you still roll badly, then there's nothing you can do about that. But what's nice about that, unlike the skirmish mode and remastered, if you roll well and I roll badly, then I just lose. Mm-hmm. Here, I also like the fact that you can see with, like, bloodsheds and stuff. Like, bloodshed, it's funny, whenever I do a sport, I'm like, oh yeah, bring my hero out. Oh yeah, put this out, because they're not going to die. And then bloodshed, I bring someone out, and I'm like, oh no, you're my best unit. Like, you might die, and I'll be sad. Like, I had, for my base game run through, I had, where is he? Yeah, the Sagittarius with first strike. He had 2 health, but he had 2 blue, and he was my first strike unit. And whenever you're running with the Parthians, he has a really cool prowess where if a unit is not adjacent to an enemy, they can make a free attack. And it ended up being kind of the storytelling perspective where I'm like, he was like my first unit, I took him under my wing, he would shoot, I'd have him attack and he'd miss, and I'm like, alright, we'll make a free attack, and then he'd hit. But he was so inconsistent, and I was like, man, dude, you suck. But he stayed with me the whole game. Right. And I'm like, if you die here, I'm actually going to be upset. Like, if you make it all the way, because I fought the Hydra.
Oh, okay.
So I went after. And, again, I was like, the Parthian is all about range. That's kind of his whole shit. He's an archer. I'm going to build a whole team of archers. And I had a few defenders that had taunt, or no, I had one guy that had God damn it, he had intercept blow, which is a better taunt.
Right.
And I'm like, he's gonna stick around and die. He's gonna die for me, and that ended up being super crucial. But that was rewarding in the sense that I specifically built a team to go out and then fight the Hydra because I knew it was gonna be. I was like, oh, it can swarm me with heads, and then every time a head popped up, rain of arrows, and I'm like, this is nice. This is nice. Because I just think that they have a ton of variety in a small package.
Right.
That's what makes Chip Theory great, is they're all one box. Here's your game. Not, okay, let's learn this. Let me pull out the expansion and then rifle through all this shit. It's all here. And that's it. And then the fact that every single hero has their own prowess deck.
Right. Yeah,
which really, I think, elevates this.
Well, there's one hero that I haven't played with yet that it was a special hero and Scion thing you could buy for
Aprilis and the Fool? Is that Aprilis and the Fool?
Yeah. I haven't played with that one yet, but it looks like it'd be pretty cool.
I don't think I have that.
I don't think.
What the hell, Chip Theory?
it was like a promo. But
I saw it on there.
Every once in a while they sell it on their
Okay.
deal. But it came out around April because everybody thought it was an April Fool's joke because it came out April Fools.
Yeah, Aprilis and the Fool. Yeah.
And so I ordered it and everything, but it's a white leader chip.
Okay.
It doesn't have any other chips. It's just a white hero. So
Oh, really?
That you can do, and it has like this. It has its own card that has like all this different, like it's a very unique use of this hero. But and then the Fool, he is called the Fool. The Scion is some weird like Senate looking dude, but he I haven't played with either of those yet, but it just seems interesting, like because she looks really cool. Like Aprilis is like, it's a really neat looking deal with all these different abilities and stuff. But
So she's kind of like a Titan sheet, or like a Scion sheet. She has like her own.
No, she is a hero,
right?
But she has her own special. Like she's an over OP like deal. Like she doesn't really use from what I can tell. I haven't played her, but she doesn't like have units. She's a white one,
like
so
a neutral hero.
A neutral hero.
Oh, okay.
So she doesn't really have. So I don't know how it works. Like if you pull from other factions with you or what.
Yeah. Well, that's how Pandora works.
Right.
Pandora pulls abilities from like all prowess cards from other.
Right. So maybe
heroes.
that's what she does too. Because she has her own prowess deck.
Okay.
April. So however that works, but yeah. So it seems like she's going to be kind of an interesting weird one that I haven't messed with, but anyway, that's not base game Victorum, so.
Well, that's not an expansion. I guess it is, but I mean that's more of a module, or like you said, the promo thing. But the prowess cards on all the heroes really makes them unique because I like the fact how unless it's like tiered, where it's like, oh, it's this level 1 and you have to get to level 2. I like the fact that you get to start out with one, depending which one you start out with is super helpful. And you're not you can, but you're not really going to get all of them out. But like the Parthian has one where it's called Flip the Script, where every time if he spectates in Act 1, he gets 4, then it goes 3, then 2, then 1. I'm like, oh, that would be interesting, but you can't take it if you're not in Act 1. But he was super, and it's just what's available to you at any given time just makes it really nice. And then that bag where you kind of almost have to have this just gets loaded with stuff, which really adds to the variety as the game goes on. You know, one thing I don't really understand though thematically, if Pluto was the one that's like, I'm gonna kill everyone here, why are we fighting each other? Why are all the heroes fighting one another? It's like, when we all can we all team up?
Maybe he took their
kind of makes them pseudo like mini bosses,
or maybe they're like cultists to his.
Yeah, maybe.
You
have to, or they're just like, we're gonna get the glory. It's like, we can all get the glory, guys. We can all look. We just go beat them up. Now, which Scion? Which one did you fight whenever you were doing base?
Oh, well, I've done Hydra.
You have done Hydra? Okay.
Yeah, and it murdered me.
Did it?
Well, because I didn't have much range.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you know me. I don't do range.
Yeah, range is so.
I'm pretty tanky. I want to just go in and.
Yeah.
So you and you have to get no range and you have to get right up.
You have to run up on him. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I would do it. I would like hit the Hydra, and then he would spawn a couple heads, and then like once they spawned, I would shoot them, and then it's like okay, time for your turn.
Yeah, more recently I've played the expansion ones, are what I've been focused on more recently. But yeah, I remember the Hydra is the most out of the base, the most recent of the base game I played.
One thing I absolutely I really don't like it, and I was bitching about it in my run through, is the Vesuvian arena, because that's where you have to go fight the Scion. Mm-hmm. I hate that. Oh, gain a Bane for every unit in the Vesuvian stack. I'm like, what am I keeping blessings for then? Yeah. Especially because blessings are, I like them because it's like you can scrap them to restock your units, or if your hero dies, it's an automatic re-heal up to max. I like that they exist, but if you're like, well, I'm gonna save them because I want to get rid of all the Banes against the Scion, and it's like, if you play well, you're not gonna have that many Banes in your bag. And then it's like, oh, doesn't really matter. Like, add 8 Bane or add, 5 Banes. It's like, that's so stupid. That's like, everything else is like very curated difficulty. It's a puzzle to overcome. But then that one just feels arbitrarily difficult just for no reason. Even though you know exactly what it's gonna, that means you have to dick around in Vesuvius to fight a local unit just to get it off the stack.
Right.
So I didn't like that, especially because a lot of the bloodsheds in sports are going to be one local unit. So it's like, it feels like they're trying to just make you waste time in here before you go fight a Primus. Which, I mean, that is a base game complaint.
Right. Right.
But we're talking about the base game, and that one I was like, that's dumb. Did it matter against the Hydra whenever I fought him? No. But it just really rubbed me the wrong way in that one specifically. But yeah, other than that, like I'm ultimately surprised because I expected my feelings of it to be roughly the same, and going into it with a different mindset actually helped. My major negatives are still the same, but they don't bother me as much because the strategy and the tactics of it elevated it more. Do you have any negatives? I mean, I guess it's 10 out of 10 for you, so probably not.
Not anything glaring. I mean, there's which again, that's the expansion stuff. So
yeah.
But the base game wise, if I was going to sit down and play all of it, the length of the campaign is long, but you can say that with any campaign game, so that's really not that big of a complaint per se. I don't really think I have a whole lot.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff that comes up that makes this better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this is still a preeminent solo game in my mind, like as far as what I want in a solo game and the vibe and stuff.
I mean, yeah, just because you're able to see everything. Like if you get upset that a unit of yours died in a bloodshed, that's all of it's on you. Like you sent them out to be swarmed by people to be killed. You know what units, you could see all their units and what order they're coming out. You put unless there's a rule in a bloodshed that you knew was there because you got to see it, and it's like everything. I mean, yeah, dice are still dice, but like if you put like your best unit or your most critical unit for your squad out, and then the arena effect killed them, and it's like, well, then why would you do? Yeah, so it's like the randomness of the dice are superseded by everything else just being very tactile. So yeah, like I think the sports are fun. Although I will say the sports kind of, at least for me, get to a point where it's like I don't need to do a sport ever. My squad is exactly what I want it to be. I'm maxed out on tactics.
I think it's just an option in case you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Opportunities are kind of there, and again, that can also be random. Like almost because I was doing like this archer thing, most of mine were, oh hey, kill, kill, you deal final blows of with ranged attacks. I'm like, man, look at that. Oh, another hero prowess. Oh, and a specialized opportunity unit that's OP. It just can be curated in such a way that will be a super fun experience, or if you want to make it very difficult, there's an option for that, which I don't remember what was it? You start with one blessing and a middle finger. It's like what you get
for hard mode.
Yeah, start with one blessing and 3 silent influence.
Okay, I was gonna say 2 blessings. I've never played hard mode. So.
Neither have I. Yeah, chosen 8 blessings, increase health and leadership by 1, and then add or upgrade a die in your hero's attack. And Valiant is 4 blessings, and then you choose one, increase your health, increase leadership, increase your attack die, or upgrade an existing die.
I guess if you want to make this a shorter campaign, just play on hard mode and just
just die immediately. Get 1 heal, and you know the silent fight is going to be brutal if you make it there, just because you're gonna you can't get rid of any Banes. But I like the Bane effect. I like how, again, you have control over that. You could either take what you're given by the sports or the bloodsheds, or if you really hate what's in front of you, you spectate. And spectate also helps you move quicker, because you can only ever move to what's adjacent. And you find yourselves in a lot of positions where it's like, oh man, I have to go all the way around. Like, that sucks. And I don't need to do any sports, but I guess I kind of have to. Because I don't want to keep spectating, because that's going to add more silent influence, and I'm trying to limit how many Banes are in there. Because while they're not detrimental, they're annoying. But I like how the Banes are just sometimes thrown in the bag.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way I'm drawing this. And then it's like, how?
Yeah.
There's 80 chips in this bag. How did I draw the 1 Bane?
Yeah.
But it's actually really impressive when you look at the components of what's in Victorum, which, compared to a lot of games, is not a lot.
Right.
You have a lot of variety with the amount of opportunities, bloodshed, sports, units, and prowess cards, and heroes. And then if you have the...
Might.
Yeah, there it is. Because I can bring this up too. If you have this, and you have Remastered, you got a lot. You got a lot of heroes. And honestly, the heroes are what make this fun for me, because of the prowess cards. But, yeah, I mean, I can't really say much more without talking about expansion stuff,
right?
Which I want to do. I want to do a separate video on. Brad, what do you give this game on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, same as I did. I think when we did it last time, this is a 10 for me.
Yeah.
Solo
Not a top
player.
10 game. It's in its 30s, which is kind of...
It was, I guess it was 30 something, but
Yeah,
it would be in my top 10.
It was basically off.
Because I hadn't played it for a while because I'd been playing a bunch of other campaign, and a lot of Fate Forge was taking up a lot of my time and stuff like that. But now that I've gotten back in, because we're preparing for all this reviews and playthroughs and stuff that we've been doing, like it's back in my top 10 just because I'm getting to play it again. And,
yeah, you actually had your daughter remake the top 10, so you can throw it in there. It's on my top 100 twice.
But and then, like you said, when the expansion, I just added more to it. But,
yeah.
But yeah.
What's your favorite map?
Besides
the Kunlun that apparently we have never gone to.
I think I kind of like this one.
The Limosians with the hill?
That's called, yeah. Because you're trying to get onto that and hold those
in the
spots
middle
and stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly because when if I'm building the tanky deals, then I can get in there and if I can get it positioned correctly where I'm using a taunt and trying to make them so I can just try to hold the spots and stuff like that. They're all, like I said, for some reason, like I said, we haven't done that one.
I realized I've played this game multiple times now for 3 campaigns, and I have never gone to Kunlun. They've never been a Primus, so, I mean, expansion, yada yada. My least favorite is Pluto's Refugees, because those animals are jank and weird, and it locks up the thing, but that's base game. My favorite,
I mean, they all have their things, yeah.
You know, it could just be because I had a really good squad, but I like the chained one because I didn't care about movement. I just stood there and shot people from a distance. But whenever I am caring about movement, I like the Atlantis one. I like the idea of racing for that trident.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
But I don't mind this one either. The Vesuvian one I really don't like just because there's no benefit to being on it and it's very tiny. I will say I wish the maps were a slightly bit bigger because in Elder Scrolls that's what makes that so much because you're actually moving around, but here you're not really. It kind of is like a mix between Elder Scrolls and Too Many Bones where you're like you do move,
right,
but you're not really. But I guess if you want kind of more tactile movement, you just play Hoplomachus Remastered, which has that a lot more. But I guess that's also meant to, if it was bigger, that means there'd be more movement, which means the game would be even longer, and that would be that wouldn't be all that fun.
Right.
Who's your favorite hero that you've played?
I'm still like the Argonauts.
The new Argonauts,
Yeah.
Not his name. Yeah, Decimus. Is that his name?
Can't think of what his name is right now.
I'm pretty sure it's.
That's why I picked New Argonauts.
It is Decimus.
Yeah, I like how that faction kind of has their hulky guys and stuff like that on there.
He is what has he got going for him? He has tactical, absorb, and inspire.
Yeah.
He was the one I did my very first playthrough with, and then out of them, I've played him, the Parthian, and then Stygiana. Now, how do you fight Nox? Is she the Vesuvian like Primus? I guess she would be.
So,
yeah, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I guess she would be.
Yeah.
Because Stygiana is the Pluto's refugees. Oh, it literally says Nox of the Vesuvians. If I knew how to read, I was stupid. It wasn't stupid. Stygiana was weird. She's not my playstyle because she is all about like combat lock and being the first one deployed, which is not amazing whenever you don't want your hero to go down. But she's the one who I did my Pandora's Ruin with, which is a perfect segue to go into that later on. But on a scale of 1 to 10, where I was at a 5 with Hoplomachus Victorum, it's actually getting a 2-point bump. I'm giving this a 7.
Yeah.
I think it goes from average from where I was sitting at to good. Like, luckily, again, Chip Theory was very, very, very nice to have me send review copies. I know people will be like, oh, you're only giving it a 2-point bump because clearly you're new to the channel, because I've had many review copies that I have shit on.
Indeed.
And I love Chip Theory games, and even after everything, I will say this is my least favorite Chip Theory game. Burn Cycle, Too Many Bones, Elder Scrolls, and even 20 Strong, I like all better than this. But I'm also not a purely solo gamer, so I'm not gonna run around and be like, ooh, and set this out. I'm gonna play video games or do whatever besides play this, and I've done it for the channel. But if I were to, I'd have a good time. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for the base game of Hoplomachus Victorum. And that's it, everyone. We will have a review over the Pandora's Ruin expansion that will be coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that. But let us know what you think of the base game of Hoplomachus Victorum in the comments below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.